This is my Keychron Q1 keyboard. It's been housing these mighty purple lavender switches from Akko, which I've been using for close to 3 years. They are soft and tactile, but most importantly, affordable. The only thing they are not is silent, which is why I picked up these also from Akko, the Silent Penguin switches. Now you may have heard the silent switches can feel mushy and weird, but it was my only option as I wanted to bring this keyboard into the office without bothering anyone. So I decided to give it a go. I started by disassembling the beast of a keyboard, or I should say the neglected beast, as she was pretty dirty. The next step was to pull out all the old switches before lubing the new ones. Lubing the switches is a tedious process. You start by disassembling a switch and pulling apart and separating each individual component. Then with a little bit of lube, the current lube I'm using is Krytox 205 G0, and a fine brush, you apply a small amount of that lube to the inner workings of the switch. Covering different sides and the spring, you put the switch back together again, and then do it enough times until you have enough switches to put your keyboard back together. This task is very meticulous and very time consuming. It requires a lot of patience, but I do enjoy it. I throw on a show and just kind of kick back and do the thing, and in the end, I think it's quite rewarding. After 2 hours of lubing, I've lubed about 28 switches, and I'm exhausted, so I'm gonna go to bed and come back to finish it off. After hours of work spread across multiple nights, the switches are finally lubed. Now that all the switches are lubed, it's now time to jump into the keyboard and start figuring out how to lube the stabilizers. It's been a minute since I last lubed stabilizers, but it follows a very similar method to the switches. Unfortunately, there are fewer of them, so it goes by pretty quick. Alright, it's the moment of truth. The keyboard is back together again, the stabilizers are lubed, now we can finally put the switches in, and then the keycaps. At last, the most satisfying part. Oh man, I'm so excited that it's finally complete. Now let's see how it sounds. My first impressions of the Penguins was a little disappointing as I missed the tactile feel of my old lavenders. Although these Penguins are tactile, to me it feels very subtle. In addition, they do have a slight mushiness compared to other tactile and linear switches I've tried that aren't silent. However, after using it for a couple months, these switches definitely have grown on me. And it does have a higher actuation point than the purple lavenders, meaning that I'm applying a little bit more pressure when I make a keystroke, which is something that I personally prefer. Overall, the switches live up to their name and are significantly quieter than my purple lavender switches, which is perfect for bringing it to the office. Today's the day. I'm bringing it in. I'm concealing it within my lunch. Let's do it. I'm just about to make it to the office. Let's see if anyone notices this keyboard.
Like, why are you recording yourself typing?
Can you hear it?
No.